Today we're going to give you tips to educate yourself on picking out flavor notes and flavor profiles of some of your favorite spirits. So imagine somebody walks up to you and they say, "Here's this green tree fruit. What does it taste like?" If you had never seen a lime before, how would you describe its flavor? You can't, because you have absolutely no basis of reference. To understand how to taste a spirit properly, I have a video on that. Watch that one first and come back to this, or watch them like in reverse order like a Tarantino film. I don't care. So this is gin. Or so I hear. McQueen and the Violet Fog, handcrafted gin. Gin has a lot of different botanicals in it. This one has hold on. Their website says 21 different botanicals. That's a lot. How are you going to pick all those out? You're probably not. So we're going to do this tasting with our Norlan tasting glasses. I've got two prepared here. I've got a gin, and I have a high proof whiskey. And one of the creative aspects of the Norlan glass is these weird protrusions. You'll see 4 of them at the bottom of the glass. And what those do is as you swirl spirits around and other liquids, it helps create more of a wave effect. And that little wave effect is going to oxidize the product a little bit. But really, the oxygen isn't what we're going for in most cases because this isn't a red wine. However, it also helps some of those vapors, those ethanol vapors, evaporate. And then, with the concave nature of the glass and the design of the glass, it helps to remove those ethanol vapors from getting straight in your nose hole, and they flow around your face rather than straight at you. Which means a lot of those flavors from the actual gin, or from, in this case, our Knob Creek single barrel 120 proof, are able to get to your face faster. Well, not necessarily faster, but predominantly over the ethanol. So now that my face is properly adapted, my palate is ready to go, we can start thinking about how do we pick out some of these flavors. What you really need to do is challenge yourself with what I'd like to call a flavor dictionary. That might be what it's normally called, I don't know. But here's the fact. If you've never had something before, how could you possibly identify it in a spirit? You have the extra added challenge of ethanol getting in your way. You have the Norlan glasses to help move that out of the way. Now you have those center-focused flavors, but how are you supposed to be able to adapt them? You need to learn to smell, taste, and experience everything. When you were a kid, this was normal. Look at kids. They put everything in their mouth. They smell everything. They taste everything. Some point during our life, maybe it was our parents that said stop doing that, we close ourselves into a little box and we only experience things we know aren't dangerous. Well, guess what? There's a lot of crap out there that you probably want to experience. You want to save some money? What I have here is a crap load of different ingredients that I use to make bitters, alcohol infusions, and stuff like that. If you just want to be able to experience new flavors, go to the grocery store. Smell every fruit and vegetable and the little herbs they hang up there. Basils, the thyme, whatever it happens to be. Take in some of those flavors and identify them and go, oh, that's what thyme smells like. Interesting. Because if you never do that, you're never going to get the smell of thyme out of any type of spirit. You're just going to be like, dude, it smells like alcohol. No kidding. There are literally hundreds of free scents for you to choose from. Then there's the other options. So my little breakdown here, I'm going to stick this right here. This is my little array of some flavors that you could try at home. These are called Nutmeg. It smells like Christmas. You can find Nutmeg in lots of bitters, different products, eggnogs. We also have here Juniper Berries. By themselves, they don't really smell like anything because they're not crushed. What you need to do is break them up. Mortar, pestle, spoon, plate, something to break it up and smell what the inside of a couple crushed juniper berries is like. You want to take it to another level, take a pile of juniper berries, crush them, macerate them, do something, and then stick some vodka in there and let it sit for 4 or 5 days, 2 weeks, whatever. And then give it a taste and see what the alcohol is extracted from these little juniper berries. It might taste like gin. Cardamom pods. Medicinal smell to them. You break these, you put these in a drink, only need 1 or 2, and it'll completely change the dynamics of a cocktail. These little guys here, the crap are these? Coriander seeds. If you've ever had cilantro and you've let cilantro grow too much, you get this for free. It's a coriander seed. Star anise. Smells like licorice or black jelly beans. Cinnamon stick. Everybody's seen a cinnamon stick. You also have wormwood, which is used as a basis in absinthe and such. And sometimes gin. Allspice. Big core component of a lot of drinks. You can grab a little allspice flavor from Velvet Falernum, as well as clove. I got clove around here. Vanilla bean. Ooh, smells like sweet vanilla. You'll also get a little vanilla bean or vanilla flavoring out of different types of oaks when you oak age things like whiskey and bourbons. And of course, if you get yourself a bag, you can get these at a lot of different stores. I know they have them on Amazon. Whiskey barrel smoking chips. Soak some straight up white dog, some white whiskey, or maybe age some gin in some oak chips and see how, or rum, and see how it changes how your cocktails and how your spirits are influenced by the oak. There's tons of different flavors, and if you don't experience them, you're never going to pick them out of your cocktail. So let's see what we get out of this. I will tell you what they say this should have. Basil, rosemary, fennel seeds, words I can't say, star anise, acai. Those are a few of them. I don't have any acai samples here, but go get yourself a bottle of acai juice and experience acai, because it's kind of got like a blueberry, like a berry thing going on. Don't do this when you're reviewing the spirit straight up to try and get the flavor notes, but if you can't get anything and you have some of these different things, eat them. Yeah, it tastes like gin. Coriander's in like every gin that I can find. Coriander is in here, I'm sure. It's one of the... It tends to be a very strong base because it almost brings in some like eucalyptus flavors and stuff. Of course, you've had to have experienced eucalyptus to understand that. Cardamom has a very distinct, almost bitter bite to it, like a wormwood, which has a bitter bite to it. All of these in conjunction is used to make a gin. A lot of them either have a finish or have some sort of star anise infusion, probably a lot less star anise than everything else because it's so strong. This specific spirit talks to me with that fennel back end flavor. This has fennel, it has your eucalyptus-like flavor to it. It's got the juniper, but it's very hard to get out of here for some reason. I think it's because it's got so many other flavors. Maybe the acai is coming through. I'm not a genius. I'm not going to catch every flavor in here. I don't smell basil, but if I try hard enough, or maybe I practice with basil, I might be able to pull some of those flavors out as they get logged into my memory as going, that's what basil tastes like. I could get a little bit of that out of here. The easiest way for you to start to identify these flavors is to adapt those flavors into your brain, number one. Number two, compare this gin against another gin. Bulldog. Bulldog is a gin that I find to be cost-effective, perfect on flavor, and wins on our blind tastings. So for me, if I wanted to try and figure out what some of these flavors are, I start with Bulldog as my control group, get those flavors back in my brain, and then see what's different about this product. And three, you need the proper tasting glass. If you want to be able to pick out the right flavors, you need something that's going to give those flavors to you. And since Norlan separates a lot of those flavors out, that helps me adapt some of these other flavors and ignore some of those ethanol burns that you get. Especially when you move into the high-proof spirits. 120. That's like, I don't know how much percent alcohol. That's a lot of percent alcohol. Oof, it's strong still. Wow, dry. Whew. One of the things out of everything on this list that I get, I'm going to need a moment. Vanilla bean comes out. I don't have any molasses here. I have it in the freezer. The closer thing might be turbinado sugar. Not white sugar, but it's got a little bit of molasses appeal. Barrel-aged chips. Come on, obviously this is barrel-aged. It's super dry. And it burns, not like with an alcohol taste, but like just a raw burn. And I get zero alcohol smelling it. Rye, wheats, grainy, sweet, has a nice sweet flavor to it. Again, I feel like it's like almost like a rum, like the molasses or a sugary sweetness. And there is a little bit of cold eucalyptus smell coming out of it. It's like if you go to a party and you're having a conversation with somebody and there's hundreds of people all around you talking and you're doing your best to be able to focus that conversation and understand what's going on, but you can't pick out all the words. If you put a phone box around the two people having that conversation, you're still going to probably hear some mumbled noises, but you're going to be able to pick up a lot more syllables and a lot more words from that conversation so that you can recognize what they're saying. To me, that's the Norlan glass. This is the foam wall that separates the flavors and the aromas from all of that alcohol distraction. A really high proof bourbon, I don't care if it's a delicate sexual gin, you need to experience all the different flavors across the spectrum of flavors. Now, go to norlanglass.com, get yourself some beautiful glassware that's going to assist you in starting to pick out some of these flavor profiles. And then you will get better at tasting and appreciating cocktails. And of course, in the end, that makes you a better human. Or at least you get to experience more of life. Now, if you wanted me to make a video on how to make this a little bit more cost effective, I do have suggestions on that goes beyond the scope of this video. If that's something you want to see, leave some comments below after you hit the like and subscribe button. Taste the experience. That's it, my friends. We're teaching you how to drink.